You know you don't have to be a professional, right? So, today I came to the conclusion that I'm gonna make this video. This video is about some stuff that I've seen lately on YouTube, and it's not necessarily lately, it's just been kind of like all the time. And that is, you don't have to be a professional to be a fisherman. Like me, personally, I catch so many fish I don't know what to do with them. I throw them back, but you get what I'm saying? I bet you do. I catch fish all the time, and it just comes naturally to me. When I go out and pick a bait, I pick generally one of about 3 hard baits, and then 3 different types of soft plastics. There's generally 6 type of baits you'll usually see me using. Hard baits, first off, would be your spinner bait. So MEPS or just a regular spinner bait with a skirted spinner bait. And that's my favorite thing to use is a spinner bait. Let's go over what I use. I generally use like a MEPS or a skirted spinner bait, and I prefer a green color because that's what's most effective around here. The other hard bait would be a shallow diving crank with, again, a green with orange coloring on it because it's just proven to be the most effective. And the third hard bait is a buzz bait, and once again, either green or green with orange or white because it's, once again, the most effective. White spinner baits work great too, but that's generally in areas where there's shad, and that's a bait fish that they see. Now, with soft plastics, it comes into trial and error, basically. I've found that, I want a purple, kind of blue, black colored, dark colored crawfish bait, a green salamander, green or purple worm. That's it. I don't make things complicated on myself saying, oh, this is like a pumpkin, whatever, with this size of hook and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay. Hook, worm, line. Let's go fish. Come on. So what I'm trying to get across here is you don't have to make things complicated to catch fish. Now, granted, I've got a ton of different baits that I don't know what to do with, but they each have their own purpose at some certain point in time. But generally, I'm going to be picking one of 3 different baits. It's either going to be a spinner bait, a worm, or a craw, and that's all I'm going to use. In either Texas rig or Carolina rig, and that's about it. People tend to make things more complicated than they should be, and I feel like people need to know that you don't need to make things complicated. You just need to find what works and stick to it. You don't need to go out and buy all these different types of baits that people say are the best baits on the market. You just buy what you need. For me personally, that's spinner bait or a MEPS number 3 with the green and orange coloring on it, purple worm, a crawfish, soft plastic, and a salamander. And generally I don't even use the crank. I only use the crank on special occasions. But those are what I use. I use spinner baits, buzz baits, and those 3 different soft plastics. Now, later in the season I do break out the frog, and I've been using it right now, and it's working. Once again, it's just a soft plastic frog, and you just put it on a wide gap hook and throw it out. And generally, the only hook I use is a wide gap hook. Unless I'm using live bait, then that's a whole different deal. But what I'm trying to get across here is people make things more complicated than they should be. You should be able to go into a store with $50 and get everything that you need. One spinner bait, 1 MEPS, so that's going to run you about $8 right there. And then you get your soft plastics 1, 2, and 3, so you craw, salamander, and worm, so $5 a piece, so you're at 7, 12, 17, 22. And then you've got money for weights and hooks. You know, you don't need to go out and buy, oh, let's get like 6 different colors of worms and all this stuff because of the water clarity and this, that, and the other. Generally, if you have the same bottom color, everything's going to be what you need. Like, the words are hard. They really are. I feel like I'm ranting. Don't make things complicated, people. That's what I'm trying to get across. Find out what works and just go with that. You don't need to go out and buy some fancy stuff that's $20 a lure, you know? Stick with what works. You know, talk to the old farts. I'm friends with an old fart that was a teacher at my school. I talked to him and he's like, yeah, I really only use 3 different baits. And, you know, I kind of took that from him. And I learned that, hey, if you only carry a certain amount of different baits, you get really good with them. And you know what to use them for and how to use them. And so that brings me to my next point. I'm going to be making some videos here pretty soon on how I use my different baits. Now granted, I might run out of time. I might not be able to make a video on that, but I will try my best to do that before I leave for the summer. So I think that's all I got. You guys can follow me on Reelphoto. It's an app called Reelphoto app. Just REEL photo. Just put it in like the App Store or Google Play or whatever device you have. I don't even pay attention to that, but whatever app store you have, just go and get Reelphoto. Follow me on Reelphoto, just Kansasfisherman. That's it. And you guys can also follow me on Twitter at KS_fisherman. So go do that, and stay tuned for the next one and keep your lines tight.